I wanted to translate my indie game into many different languages so that people all over the world could enjoy it. But when I looked into professional translation services, they were going to cost me thousands of dollars, and I realized that that wasn't an option. So I reached out to the community of my players, and many of them volunteered to translate the game for free. However, I was managing the translations in a huge Google spreadsheet, and it was a gigantic pain to use. So I created this platform, Localize on Kiwi, to make community-sourced translations and localizations totally painless. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of how it works. Basically, I created a project for my game Spellmasons, and then I defined which languages I wanted it translated into. Now, if we dive into one of these languages, we can see I have the key that I reference this string with inside of my game. I have the English text, and then I have the text in French. So for example, here's a spell that I have called Mana Steal, and the translator put in the translation Vol de Mana. Okay, so the tool is super powerful. Basically, you can filter by translated and untranslated strings. Right now, this is at 100% translation. You can also search for strings, and then when you're ready to export it, you can see it as raw JSON, you can export it, or you can just export everything all at once. Now, I'm going to show you how easy it is to create a project and get started with community translators making translations. All you have to do is create a new project, and then you put in your game. I'm going to say my test game. You can add custom instructions for translators, and then if you have a website, it'll automatically pull your .ico from the website so that it gives it a little image. So I'm going to go ahead and create that. Okay, so now that we've created the project, we have to add which languages we want. So let's say Spanish, and let's add French. And now we have to import our translation file. You can also add translation keys in the project itself, and I'll show you how to do that. But for right now, I already have some strings that I want translated, so I'll just drag in the JSON and import. Great. So now, if I go back out, I can see that I have the source language English with a few words that I need translated. And I can say, let's add another one, greeting, hello, and add. It's as simple as that. And then if we go into Spanish or French, you can see that all of these are awaiting translation. So here comes the fun part. Let's give people permission to translate the game for us. So if we go into settings and come down here, we can add a user, and we can give them specific permissions. We could have somebody have the permission to manage the entire project if we want to. That's the permission that you have when you create the project. But for now, let's just give them translate, and you can specify which languages you want them to have permission over. So let's say just French, and we're going to grant them that permission. Now I'm signed in as that user. I'm going to click on the project, and I'm going to click on French, and you can see that I have the ability to translate, like so. And I don't know French, so I'm not going to be able to translate it, but I'll just enter a few test strings to show. And as you can see inside of Spanish, I don't have permission to translate any of these, so I can't change anything. One last thing that's really important is before anyone is allowed to make translations, they're greeted with a pop-up that they have to sign the contributor agreement. The contributor agreement basically assigns you, the project owner, rights to any translations that they create, and they're acknowledging that it's a voluntary translation and that they're granting you those rights so that you can use it in your game or your project without owing them anything. Now, this project is still in beta, so while it's in beta, I'm letting anyone use it for free. Eventually, I will charge for it, but I want to keep it affordable for indies. That's the entire point. So I'm going to try to make it as affordable as possible, but as I said, for right now, I'd like anyone to be able to use it for free. And I'm eager to take feedback from people who are using it about what features you want or what input export formats you want, that kind of thing. So feel free to reach out to me on X. I'm Joe Game Dev, and there's a little contact button in the corner, and it'll take you right to my page. I hope this is helpful.